Hello everyone, welcome to The Bear Opinion. My name is Mitch, and this is not a video I was planning on making today, or anytime, really. Some of you may know, some of you may have heard that Linkin Park, early 2000s new metal, glorious band, have released their newest single off of their upcoming album. The track is titled Heavy. And the new album is called One More Light, and it'll be dropping May 19th. Now, you might be wondering why I wasn't expecting to make this video. I'm going to give you a chance right now to pause and go listen to the track, okay? If you don't like Linkin Park, if you do like them, if you want some context, you can go listen to it right now. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, you can find it pretty easy. Give you a second. Okay, so this is why I'm talking about this song. It is terrible. It is terrible, and it makes me very, very sad. And I'm going to do a little Linkin Park rant. How does that sound? Okay, so let's talk about Linkin Park a little bit. So, as many people know, as I feel like a lot of people know from my generation, the 90s babies, Linkin Park is a pretty influential band. I mean, in 2000, they released Hybrid Theory, which is arguably one of the best rock albums of this generation, certainly. It kind of introduced this new metal vibe with the rap and the electronica and the rock and the hard vocals, and it's amazing. It's a great record, and I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, right? But I know pretty much everyone who's around my age knows some of the songs off of there. They were completely just like oversaturated in the radio market. And everybody's heard of Linkin Park, right? So then they follow up Hybrid Theory with Meteora. This was a chance for them to either say Hybrid Theory was good and we're going to go a new direction because we're not totally sold on doing that kind of music for our career, or we're going to strengthen what we have and we're going to release a sophomore album that is completely the next step. And that's exactly what they did. Meteora is, in my opinion, their best record. It took all of the elements of Hybrid Theory, matured them, kind of let them marinate, and became just an amazing sound that it's really unique to itself. I know there were a lot of bands from like 2000 to 2004, 2005 who wanted to go with that new metal sound, Korn, Limp Bizkit, stuff like that. But in my mind, you could argue that there's other couple bands who are more successful or better at it. But Linkin Park, to me, really hit the mainstream market and the outside markets equally hard. People who today don't like, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and like, August Burns Red, and whatever, they like Linkin Park, and the people today who listen to the mainstream music may not like Linkin Park, but at least know of them. Like, everybody has a Linkin Park story, I'm sure. Anyway, so they go on to be super successful with their singles like Crawling and Numb, and really making a name for themselves in this great genre of music. And it's not until 2007 that they would go on to release Minutes to Midnight, and this is where I feel like a lot of their fans started to become a bit concerned with the band. It really started to hit a bit more of a mainstream sound than the sound that they were hitting before. Minutes to Midnight wasn't like the worst song in the world, but it wasn't very good. And I know a lot of people were concerned that they were going to, start hitting that mainstream market and lose the sound that they had created. This track had this record had tracks such as Leave Out All the Rest and Shadow of the Day. These are, some of the bigger hits that they had, and this was kind of where the slow progression of the downfall of Linkin Park began. So to kind of keep moving along here, not sit on every single record that they have. The next records that they had were, of course, 1,000 Suns in 2010, a very strange record, a very experimental record. But I know that a lot of people thought that with this record that they were going to try and revert back to an old sound, because it was very heavy and it was very strange. It wasn't quite as mainstream as the music that they were releasing at Minutes to Midnight. So that was a good sign. And then, of course, Living Things came out. Now, when Living Things came out, the band started to be sponsored a little bit more with some movie productions. I know they had big hits on the Transformers movies, and Living Things was a bit of a softer record. And I don't think it was the worst. I personally enjoy Living Things. But again, it's nowhere close to the sound they had on Hybrid Theory and Meteora that got them started and really kind of defined them as a band. So, in 2014, they released The Hunting Party, which was very mediocre. Very mediocre. Still kind of had that rock sound to it. But at this point, the band is completely gone from what they had started. There's no more real nu metal like influence in this. It's pretty much straight up alt rock, kind of radio rock sound. Them trying to just become relevant again. So at this point, we're in 2014, right? And they released their first album in 2000. So this is a 14-year gap, and we've seen them go from a nu metal kind of classic to this kind of shadow of what they were, alt rock kind of like outfit that really wasn't doing much for anybody. So now, to the point of this video, they have announced today their new album, One More Light. It'll be coming out May 19th, and have released their single Heavy. And it is a sad day for Linkin Park fans. Now, I thought after 3 years, they got pretty mixed reaction from The Hunting Party. People are saying, why can you not try and go back to that sound that put you on the map? Why are you so against it? Chester has an amazing voice. He really does. And the rest of the band, they have such a unique sound. They mix and combine their instrumental verses and melodies in these very complex and interesting ways, but recently have kind of shied away from that. And Heavy, the new single, is pop. It's a pop song. It is. And that's not me being critical of it. That is me saying what it is in its entirety. It's a pop song. Chester is straight, clean vocals on it. There's a heavy electronic kind of background music on it. There's an accompaniment by Kiara. I don't really know who that is. That might just be my ignorance. I don't know if she's like a popular artist nowadays, but Kiara doesn't do much for the track. The whole track is just, it's sad. It's this frustrating pop song that it just is completely void of any heart, any soul that the band had at one point in their career, and it is a complete cash grab. These guys are trying to feed into the market who listens to people like the Chainsmokers or like, I don't even know, in that kind of genre, like this really easy kind of like poppy, catchy kind of chorus with not a whole lot of depth to it, and it sickens me that they would go this route. Linkin Park are such a frustratingly good band in the early stages. I mean, like I said before, Hybrid Theory and Meteora are amazing records. They are classics in their genre. And the fact that the band would fall from that to releasing radio-friendly pop, sellout, revenue-creating music is so frustrating. And I cannot imagine what this record is going to sound like. Now, maybe this is like a big joke and the rest of the record is actually Meteora Part 2. That would be great. I could accept a joke, but it's not going to be. The band is dead in terms of what they used to be. We are never going to see the Linkin Park of early 2000s revived and resurrected. It's just the fact of things. I really had a thought that this record might see them trying to get that sound back to like revive the fan base and the sound that they once had, but at this point, if you've listened to Heavy and you know what they sounded like back in the early 2000s and you loved that sound, you're probably with me in saying that the Linkin Park of old is gone. And it really makes me sad. So, that's my little history rant of Linkin Park. I am a very disappointed music listener today, to see that a band that was once so beloved would fall so hard into the economy of the world, trying to just make a few bucks instead of really put out the music that started their fan base and gave them an audience in the first place. So that's all I have to say. Really sorry this was a bit of a downer, but I just couldn't go without saying something. Yeah, so thank you for listening. If you agree, disagree, whatever, please comment below. Let me know what you think. Give this page a subscribe. I'm going to be releasing a lot of new content soon. Go check out the Bare Opinion Facebook page. All that good stuff. You know how it goes. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and until next time, adios.